What's up, YouTube? RC Bustin' Out over here with another upgrade repair video. And this one's going to be a real interesting one, guys, for you because I just learned something new today from another YouTuber, Michael Larson, who made a extremely helpful video on how to remove the damn bearing off the bottom plate. Top bearing, nice, easy. But we'll get to that soon. So what I'm doing here is I've decided to go ahead and order some ceramic hybrid bearings so that I can get some hopefully cooler running bearings since of the thermal properties of ceramic. Because right now with the stock bearings that this guy has, just the plain stainless steel, these things are serious heat conductors, and considering that I run this pretty hard, this car, and I even read it with the high speed, the outside does get pretty warm. But what gets really, really hot was this bottom plate. Whenever I felt this was like piping hot, and that's because, well, all your rotation is at the bearing. So I'm hoping that with these two ceramic hybrid bearings, that would help things run a little bit cooler, a little bit smoother, and hopefully even gain a little bit of more speed, because ceramic bearings are way lighter and smoother, and they're actually harder than the typical stainless. So now to the trick. um like I said, taking the top bearing off, no problem, because that comes off and it slides off. Well, this thing is very magnetic. It just comes right, it slides right off of there. But the bottom one, that puppy was set in there with no space, and of course nothing that you can actually push it from the other side to pop it out. So this guy Michael Larson that posted a video on how to get that bearing out of there is using nothing more but bread. You got that right. Sliced bread. And they said, best thing invented since sliced bread. Well, shit, sliced bread is still kicking. So what I wound up doing was, while the bearing was still in there, made little balls, put it in there, and I use this end, the bottom end, that's the one that actually goes on that side, put it inside, and I use a plastic hammer, and you can use a wooden end. Just try not to use any metal on metal so that you won't mar the end where the pinion gear goes. And you start tapping, tapping, tapping until it can't go no more. Then remove it, add another little ball, and slowly but surely, behold, that bearing starts pushing up. The bread goes, it squishes under, and it actually forces the bearing to pop right up. And I don't know if I can cash it into detail, but the force was so strong that it actually bent that whole shield in because of the pressure. Like this right here, you can see that that's nice and flat. On this end is all caved in because of how much pressure that bread was putting on the bearing to pop it out. But it worked. It took me like freaking a minute, not even, to get that bearing out of there using sliced bread. So I'm going to leave a link below so you guys can check the video out of Michael Larson actually performing the job and getting that bearing out of there. Because let me tell you, I was trying to do everything in my power to not curse, trying to hit that bearing out of there. I'm like, why would you do this? Why would you put that in there so tight and no way of pushing that bearing out from the other end, knowing that eventually you will have to replace this? But that trick worked like a charm, and it made it super easy. The new TRBRCs, these are ABEC 5s, hybrid, stainless hybrid ceramic, much smoother. I was able to feel, even though that these were still in good shape, because they're practically only about maybe 10 packs of runs in, they're still really smooth. But compared to these guys, these are way smoother. I mean, I switched the ones on my Rustler with all ceramic hybrid, and it was like night and day difference. So much nicer. So that's what I'm doing now, and hopefully that will help cool down. I'm hoping. If not, nothing bad's going to come out of actually upgrading to ceramic hybrid bearings. I recommend that slowly but surely you replace all your bearings in your car and swap them over to ceramic hybrids, because they're going to last way longer. They don't heat up as bad as your typical normal regular stainless bearings, and it will actually improve the rolling of all mechanical parts in your vehicle. Other thing I picked up was 6S by China Hobby Line. I've seen some pretty good reviews, and somebody who actually I'm gonna have to dig up the video that I saw, but who actually pulled in some real data comparing this to SMC battery, and they were like neck to neck in performance from all the data that was logged. And I'm gonna give this a try. This is the G Plus series, 5,000 milliamp hours, 70C drop. I'm hoping that this is gonna get me that extra oomph that I needed, because with this batteries that I had, there was just some cheap gold bats. I had a pair of 3S's. With the stock pinion that came with this 14 tooth, I was only getting 50 miles an hour. And then when I upgraded to the high speed pinion that they'd include in the package, which I believe is a 21 tooth, that you're supposed to get close to 70 or 70 plus, I was only getting 56 miles an hour. I'm like, there's no way you can jump from a 14 to 21 and only gain 6 miles an hour. And I'm hoping that it was just because the batteries, the 3S's that I was running, they were pretty old. I ordered those in January, if I'm not mistaken. I'm hoping that this makes a big difference in the speed. So I'm going to keep you guys posted on that. Batteries did come in a just simple box, no manual, no paperwork, whatever. I'm like, wow, just very generic blah. But for $70 in this type of battery, especially a battery with graphene, it's not a bad price. So I'm going to test it out and let you guys know if there's any improvement in top end speed. And I also ordered a replacement A-arm. I busted finally the first piece on this car after so many crashes and cartwheels and you name it. I've hit a tree straight on. I was doing pretty good at a good speed when I hit that tree dead on, and I'm surprised that the bumper did not crack. This is the RPM bumper, but I hit straight on, and the impact, it actually rode up and flipped and did a 360 on how hard I hit the tree. But out of all the crashes that I've had, because I've had many with this thing, because this thing is a tank, I've done many cartwheels even on the asphalt, on the grass, taking chunks of grass out of and dirt from the ground. And up to now, that's the only thing that I've broken. So I have to vouch for durability on this Arrma Typhon 6S. They did a really good job. I just wish I could have gotten these A-arms in RPM brand as well, because RPM is pretty cool. If it breaks, they will replace it, lifetime guaranteed. But they don't make A-arms for this guy yet. I'm just keeping my eye out, and as soon as they do, I will be ordering them, and I'll leave a video and part number so that if anybody has this car and they want to upgrade the to RPM parts for all the A-arms, then you can easily do so. So that's it. I'm gonna go ahead and put this all back together, and anybody who's interested in also doing this job is not that difficult. Arrma did a nice easy way where this is the front piece that's attached to the motor, where your pinion and shaft and all is. There's just 2 screws, on the top, and those 2 screws right here, you remove the 2 screws from the top, and the whole motor assembly just slides right out. And at that point, you can take the 2 screws off from the front end, and I'll take your opinion, I'll take those 2 screws off, and the motor is completely loose. Also, anybody doing this upgrade or repair on bushings, and you have to take this motor apart, these little freaking screws on the bottom are a pain in the butt. Make sure you have a really, really good hex key, and you might have to even heat them up. I had to use a lighter to heat up those screws to loosen them up, because they are in there. They use some serious Loctite. It's like they use permanent freaking Loctite on these guys. Other than that, everything else was pretty easy, and and this trick just priceless. If I didn't do this myself, I wouldn't have believed it. Bread, unbelievable. The only other hack I've ever used bread for was in plumbing. So when you're trying to weld a copper pipe, if there's a drip of water coming down the pipe, because water comes down from long travels during who knows from where in the pipes in the house, you can't get a good weld. So if you stick a piece of bread inside the pipe, in the copper pipe, dry it out, do your welding. Once you turn on the water, it dissolves the bread and it flushes it out. So that's the only other hack that I know using bread. Other than that, just to make probably somebody angry by putting a lot of bread on the floor around somebody's car and let the birds go at it and then leave presents, but that's bad. I shouldn't even say that. Never done that either. This is the only other thing I can think of, bread. So hope you guys enjoy this. If you guys have any questions, leave them down below. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And to all you guys who have subscribed, thank you very much for subscribing. You know, I'm going to keep these videos coming. If you have any questions again, please leave them down below. I will get back to you and answer your questions. All right, peace out.